It's not letting us go live on the Facebook channels, but that's all right. Well, guys, we're here.
We're live, man. We're live somewhere. That's all that matters.
We're live somewhere. Hey, you know what? Like we always say, man, we're just a bunch of LOs that don't know what we're doing, but we love it. We love what we do. Hey, guys, welcome to the Lowdown, man.
Yo.
So with my man Sean, my man Ken, KT, Travis,
KT.
Next level. We think maybe at some point Kellen might jump on if we can get his audio to work. Can we get your audio to work, Kellen?
Well, yes.
It sounds terrible, but you're here. I mean, it sounds absolutely terrible, but you are here.
You know, you looked better just 30 seconds ago, Kellen.
All right. Hang on a second. Hang on.
Well, guys, we've obviously got some stuff to chat about today. I mean, it's been another busy Friday. Heck, it's been a bit. I mean, I feel like every week now it's just busy, man, and it doesn't seem to really change. Let's talk a little bit about, I think the reality of where we're currently at. So,
Shane, hey, man, before we jump in there, dude, KT was just telling us an amazing story about a veteran he was helping in his local community. I didn't realize that there's some lenders right now who are still having trouble doing VA loans. KT, share with us how you just helped this veteran.
Yeah, so we had a guy that was actually went to a local competitor, and man, like this is the reality for some loan officers in the marketplace. Not everybody, but a lot of people. But this veteran came to me and was like, hey, man, I was really wanting to use my VA loan, and I can't because the pricing's so far out of the market because VA loans are high risk right now. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord, that's like, well, that is true, but it's also not true. And what I mean by that is like VA loans are high risk only not because of the ability for the veteran to repay the loan back. It's only high risk because it's so easy to refinance them again into an IRRRL, and so a lot of investors out there are just pricing themselves out of the market, therefore leaving loan officers and originators in the marketplace not able to do VA loans or can only offer them at like 4.5% interest rate.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm not the smartest guy in the room here, but VA is also connected to FHA, and so FHA has a significantly higher risk profile, but because they're reviewed and overseen by the same entity, they get lumped in with the bad loans, right? Like a good loan.
No, actually, the Veterans Administration's it's a little bit different. VA loans have the single lowest default rate.
Understood. Correct.
Mortgages.
Correct. So, all right. So
anyway,
we're seeing a lot of discrepancies in rates right now, right? And I think the reality is one of the fears I have as an LO is I pre-approve a client and I got a good rate. And I pre-approve them, send out a good rate, and then that agent comes back and says, my client says he can get a rate for 1%, or 1.5% or 2%, right? And we're seeing those conversations, right? We all know it's BS. Like we all know that everybody's pretty close.
Your rates aren't 1% today, man?
Yeah, I just locked one in at 1% today.
I locked 17 at 1% with zero points, right? But like the reality is that we just have to be better at communicating the message. And really, it's the dynamic. We got to be better at communicating the dynamic of the market we're in right now, right? Because it doesn't matter if VA is high risk when it's not. It doesn't matter FHA is considered higher risk, significantly higher likelihood of forbearance, foreclosure, significantly. A lot of clients don't understand any of that. We got to get in front of the message, not be behind the message. Because when you're behind the message, you're too late, you're reacting. So I think that's just something to talk about is how do we get in front of the message right now? What are we saying to people out there with so much uncertainty and change going on?
So Shane, if you're saying to communicate the dynamic of the market, would you maybe be telling your clients who are doing refinances that they're going to close in 60 days instead of 30 so you can actually get the purchases through the system? Is that a novel idea?
I'm actually telling people, listen, John, I'm going to close your loan. We're going to lock your loan for 60 days because of the dynamics of the market. There are so many unknowns right now and so many things I don't control. I'm a control freak. When I can control everything, I'm good to give you solid commitments. When I can't, I'm going to give you a vague commitment because I don't want to be wrong. We're going to lock your loan for 60 days, but it may take longer to close the loan depending on all the parameters. So don't set a close date. Don't skip a payment. Don't start planning what you're going to buy with that money. Do you have any upcoming events or times when you're out of town we need to plan around? And then that's what we do. We find that when we do that, people get it. And I also share with them the dynamics of the market. Hey, by the way, did you know that if you go to Wells Fargo right now and you ask for a refi, I think they changed the rule from $250,000 in an account to $1 million at Wells. So if you don't have $1 million at Wells, they won't do a refi. Like
well,
you,
if you actually, I think you're talking about jumbos. I'm pretty sure
Correct.
there.
Correct.
But if you actually, I always use Wells Fargo and U.S. Bank as the litmus test for where rates are. And I was just looking the other day, and Wells actually has a separate tab right now that's about 3/8 of a point higher on a refinance and a purchase to slow down the volume.
Well, you know, Quicken at one point, like if you went to their site, you could not apply, right? So when you start to tell people, listen, if you want to get a jumbo loan with Wells, you got to have $1 million in the bank. There's times where a lot of these lenders were shutting down their application process. We have local credit unions that will call us asking us if we can take deals because they don't have capacity. When you tell people that, I always tell my LOs, don't create your own competition. Like, don't compete against yourself. Don't say, I'm going to close in 45 days. Compared to who? Like, if no one else is doing that, don't build an unnecessary overreaction to the marketplace. Just tell them what's going on in the market, communicate that, and do it, right? And if you can't, over-communicate why you couldn't do it. It's what's going on, why is it going on, and how am I going to address it? And if you do those three things, you're money, and you win, and no one's pissed off.
Yeah.
Setting up expectations 101. I'm glad I taught you something, Shane. It's about time you take it.
Every time I sit down with Ken for a drink, he gets drunk and I get knowledge.
So, KT, I got a question for you. You mentioned one of your competitors. There's more than one lender in East Texas.
Yeah, we got a few down here, man. Yeah, really? Yeah. There's plenty. I promise you. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's switch topics a little bit.
Sure.
And let's go into social.
Hey, are you guys ready to get started now? There we go.
Oh my gosh, our fearless leader shows up.
Here we go. Okay. Are we live yet? Can we go?
So let's talk real quick, guys. And Kellen, it's perfect to have you come on right now.
I timed it that way.
We meet a lot of people in the business who go, man, I'm relationship based. I don't do any social media. I don't do any lead gen. I don't do any marketing or audience creation. And then I sit down and have coffee with a guy a couple weeks ago, Jason Frazier, who's all about building brand, audience, lead generation, having multiple facets of your business. The question is, like, do we think these guys or gals who are old school, relationship based, are going to survive?
Boy, that's a great question. So, I think there's a time and a place, right? So the relationship people who, are out in their community, they are working their past data boys. I think they're thriving right now, right? So because of the refis. So that's a big relationship, old school style business where you're shaking hands, you're, talking about rates to your buddies, you're doing all that kind of stuff, right? So time and a place. Long term, if we can look beyond kind of this gold rush that we're in right now, and we can look beyond that to the next 12 to 18 months, which is what we all should be doing, then the answer is you've got to be out there on other platforms. You've got to be doing social media. We call it in Next Level really kind of being the mayor of your community, right? And how do you do that? We talk about that all the time. And, I was really harping on a couple of my folks who are in smaller markets, a lot like KT, where I said, you guys have such a unique opportunity, right? Like, you can own a corner of your market that a lot of people can't do. I don't think, Sean, you could necessarily do it in St. Louis. Shane, it'd be tough in Seattle. Me, it'd be hard in Dallas-Fort Worth. But in Longview, you can, right? And
KT's so damn popular. If he ran for mayor, he'd beat the mayor.
You might get it. That's right. But yeah, to your point, yeah, you've got to be on social media. You've got to be doing those things. You've got to be creating that digital footprint, because more and more, that's how people are going to find you. And I would go on to just tack this point on to say that the way business has been conducted for the last 30 years in our world is forever changed. It's forever altered. We can never go back to what it was like in February, January, December of last year. People are going to move to an online experience. People are going to move to a contactless, touchless, interactless experience, and we have to be prepared for that.
So let's can we talk really quick about some of the technologies that are going to be like leading edge, cutting edge technology? Because if I'm a broker and I don't have the backing of like amazing companies like you guys have, like, what do I do? Like, where do I start? Because if you're an old school guy and you're like, man, I hear you, I need to go new school, but I don't know what to do. What do you guys think are some of the biggest technologies?
Well, number one thing you need is your CRM. We're big fans of Whiteboard. If you have another CRM that's working for you, Kevin Ducey over there will tell you the first thing you do is don't switch your CRM. If it works for you, keep the CRM that works for you. But you have to have your people, your realtors, your buckets of clients in one place, aggregated, that you can access at any moment to get information to.
Yeah, and yeah, that's exactly right, Sean. And that allow the guys who have that, and just thinking about that, like bringing it to a real life example. If you think about the market today, the guys that had their shit, can we cuss on
We
here?
just did, so it doesn't matter now.
The guys that have their shit together and went into their database and looked at everybody who had a rate at 3.875 and higher and pulled a spreadsheet with name, phone number, and ripped through it. First to market, those guys are the ones that are cranking on those deals. So yeah, I agree with Sean 100%. I would second it with something like a HomeBot, right? Like, great piece of technology. We are crushing it on HomeBot right now. I just signed up in February. They were at one of our events. And for me, the follow-up, the post-loan follow-up was like a gap in my business, in my process. And so I needed to solve for that. And the easiest way for me was to pay HomeBot $100 or whatever it is. And they basically do it for me. And it's been unreal over the last 90 days.
It is every month when the new information gets sent out.
Yeah.
Like you just see the ticker go, and you just see people start reaching out. It's actually, we're so busy right now. When we first did it, we put our last 3 years of closed loans in there.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't put, unfortunately, I've got another 12 years of loans that I had before that. We have apps of people who haven't even bought houses or purchased with us. We're going to put all those people in there, but we're not even putting them in there yet because we got to get through the loans that we have in front of us.
So number one, I think we all agree. Do we all agree? CRM, number one. I would say number two is a marketing technology that has automation and a nice sex appeal to it. Something like, whether that's like Mortgage Coach, HomeBot, like there's a ton of different technologies that allow you
to highways that we use a ton. We use the buy versus rent, the cost of waiting. It's got great analysis inside of there as well too. And somebody was asking about, or Kellen, you were talking about Social Survey when we were on a different call today. Like, if you are not a large company, you're not getting Social Survey. They want enterprise accounts and higher. So, a HomeBot will work with you. MBS Highways or Mortgage Coach, you can plug right into these technologies. They'll work with you if you have 100 loan officers, and they'll work with you if there's just one as well. That's right. Too.
Yeah, and I would say for me, third, so it's CRM, some industry leading technology. Like the way we use them, it's our proprietary tools. Number three for me would be some sort of a mobile experience. So whether that's a simple Nexus, which is massively robust, it's a Pre-App 1003. There's a bunch of these different systems for a mobile client experience. But to Kellen's point, contactless is getting more and more important. Like, people want to do it on their phone. Yep. Are they going to be able to e-sign, having a DocuSign account? All these things that make it so, like, clients don't want to come to us anymore. Oh. They want to sit on their couch with a cup of coffee and get on their phone and apply, sign their docs, confirm their appraisal. They want to do everything on their phone. So having a mobile experience is extremely important.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, we, for all purposes, my team has been really working remotely for the last, let's call it 60 days. And we're doing more loans than we ever have before, right? So the world is disproving the model, right? Like, the model was always, you've got to be here. I want to see your face every day. You got to be in your chair working. Not the case. So things.
Hey man, our boy Jason Frazier, he's watching right now, and he just messaged me, letting me know that he's getting next level our members a HomeBot discount. So,
sweet, man! He's crushing it.
I was doing a recording with him just earlier this week, and he said, Kellen, out of the 4 coaches, you had the best podcast that we had done. And I was like, man,
as soon as you say the same thing,
thank you. Yeah. I said, thank you, Jason. That is so. I'm humbled, frankly.
Well, guys, like we're out of time. The goal is to just make this a quick hit every Friday. I would say, leave the group with a word, a phrase, a statement, something like a challenge for the weekend. What would you guys leave the group with?
And I tell you what, I've been talking to everybody out. You do or you don't. There's no excuses. There's no I think. You do it or you don't.
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm going through a very unique time. I think mindset is everything. Like if you can be positive or you can be negative. Negative will never get you where you want to go. It'll only drain energy out of you, and you control it 100%. No matter what somebody does to you or what they don't do, you can control this, and you can be positive irregardless. So for me, one of my buddies, he's like, I've lost a lot of weight during COVID. My relationship with my wife is better. Like I feel like I'm like Chuck Norris. Like I beat COVID, and the reality is it's just all in here. So it's all mindset.
Yep. I'll follow that up with, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly.
Love it.
Yeah, I would just say, I won't get philosophical advice, but one thing I've just been talking to my groups about is, guys, we're in such an opportunity right now. Listen, spend a few minutes this weekend, print off some old loans. I'm telling you, I won't say it's 100%, but I have an extremely high hit rate right now on borrowers I'm talking to, and boom, 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 refi. And I don't care. I'm not a refi guy, but guys, it gives you the opportunity to go put an extra couple grand, $5,000, $10,000 in your wallet. Do it. Like
just in the streets.
Yeah, go look at the January and February loans you did. You can probably refinance them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's my encouragement, is get out there and knock some of that stuff out too.
Well, hey, we did it. We made it, guys. Kellen, you're a little late, but that's as per usual.
I felt like I was right on time.
Yeah, that's what she said.
We made it through another week, guys. In the industry that's been crazier than we've ever seen before, busier than we've ever seen before. We made it to Friday. We look healthy. We're happy. We're laughing. We wish the same for you guys that are tuning in today. If you ever have anything for Next Level, there's a ton of ways that they can reach out to us. One, obviously, if you want to get a copy of our playbook, which is a way to organize your day, your life, and business, you can text Playbook 2020 to 484848. Is there anything else we want to leave them with?
No, hit us up. We'd love to have a conversation.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.